in today's video, we're going to talk about First Citizens Bank. I always preach this. There's national banks. There's 3 tiers of banks. National banks, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Regional banks, First Citizens, Citizens Bank, Key Bank, and local banks, right? National, regional, local, right? 3 tiers of banks. In each tier of bank, you can get rounds of funding. If you already done the round of funding for your national banks, you can go down to the tier where it's regional banks. Now, the issue with regional banks, right, is they're only in certain regions. They're geo-restricted. Now, the workaround that is foreign filing, right? Foreign filing entity where you can file in a foreign filing entity for that state where you say you're going to do business in that state. Now, here is the problem that no one's really talking about on YouTube. Okay, let me say this. No one's really talking about this. Foreign filing entities is going to start to go away. Let me say that again. Foreign filing entity is slowly going to start to go away. What I mean by that is banks are starting to catch on. Banks are not starting to ask for documentation for BLOCs. Some banks are starting to ask documentation for even business credit cards. Okay, all right. Now, banks are starting to catch on to this foreign filing entity, and how they're doing, how they are trying to get away from that is that even though it's geo-restricted, usually you could just file for an entity and do business in that state. But what they're starting to do now is they want a utility bill in your name in that state. So as an example, this is only for this is zero restricted for certain areas. And I'll have the states where they go into, give me 1 sec. So these are the states that they are located in: Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Kansas. You see all the states in here. You guys can take a screenshot. You can go to the website, find out for yourself. These are the states. However, what banks are like Key Bank, as an example, this is a perfect example. They actually want you to live in that. They want you to be within a certain radius of that bank, but prove that you are by providing a utility bill. Let me say that again. They're asking for documentation that you do business in that area with something like a utility bill in your name. Okay, so that is something you have to be aware of. Okay, so these are the banks. They're in my state, Virginia. So these are the banks you can do businesses. You have to go in. You have to open up a business bank account with them in order to get their business banking products. They are going to pull. They're going to pull Equifax on the business side and Experian Business. They are going to pull Equifax and Experian Business. Now, a couple things I want to point out as well. A lot of people, what I'm noticing now, and I've said this in previous videos, go ahead and watch those, that now mostly regional and local banks, mostly, in fact, from my experience, that's all it's been so far, is regional banks and local banks are starting to pull business credit reports as well. Right, they're heavily, not, I don't want to say heavy, they're starting to add more weight to your business credit scores. Okay, Equifax Business, Experian Business, and I haven't seen that from the national banks yet. I've seen that a lot recently with a PNC, Citizens Bank, First Citizens Bank. So they're starting to really emphasize a business credit score on the business side for regional banks and some local banks. So you need to have like a good Equifax business score or Experian business score. I mean, it's not end all be all. It's not, I don't know what the percentage is. I know I would say 80, 85%, 90% personal credit, right? No derogatories, no lates, 720 and above, comparable credit. Relationships with the bank. Now, this particular bank, you don't need a relationship, meaning you can just apply. You don't have to season this account. You can apply same day. You can also double dip. You can get multiple products. You can get a business credit card and a business line of credit. A business line of credit. They're very likely going to ask for documentation. Does that mean that is sometimes they might not ask for documentation, but they're getting far and few between where. For business lines of credit that they don't ask for documentation, at least when your tax returns. But as far as the business credit cards, they have 0%. Let me go back to the low interest rate. They have several business credit cards that have 0% interest for, this one is for 12 months. So this is something that you would go in for, a 0% interest business credit card for 12 months, right? Now, again, the problem that I've mentioned before is that This is purchases and balance transfer. So you get a 0% interest up to $25,000 on this business credit card. So they have the business credit card 0% interest for 9 months and 12 months. They also have SBA term loans. They have business lines of credit. They go up to $75,000. Again, I'm starting to get away from saying no doc for the business lines of credit because most banks are starting to require documentation, especially for the BLOC, because a BLOC is straight cash in the bank. And then they also have equipment financing and things like that. If you wanted to look into that, they have equipment financing. So they have equipment financing, they have business loans, they have SBA loans, they have business lines of credit. Here are the terms right here. They also have small business loans up to $500,000. This is a small one. Sometimes it's up to $150,000. 100% financing available, no prepayment penalties, et cetera, et cetera. Again, just keep in mind that this is a geo-restricted bank, right? And a lot of geo-restricted banks are now starting to require, because you have to go in branch. This doesn't allow me to, if you notice, like if I wanted to get a credit card, it does not allow me to, let's go to learn more. It won't allow me to actually apply online. So you have to find a branch, go in branch, and then let's select Florida here for a second, Clearwater. You have to go in branch, open a business bank account, and then apply for that product the same day you open that business bank account, okay? So that is a difference, right? A lot of times you were able to do it online, open a business bank account, do a foreign filing entity, open a business bank account, and apply online. Now they're starting to require that you go in person in branch to apply for business products, business checking account, and then a business credit card. And then they're also requiring that you show proof that you live in that particular region, all right, that particular area with a utility bill, or I've heard even that your license has to say that. So I'm going to be the first one on YouTube to say that foreign filing entities is going to start to go away. I was one of the first, shout out Credit Plug, who said that no doc is going away, and we all agreed no doc is going away for business lines of credit. And then slightly, even some banks are going to start requiring business documentation for business credit cards. I know it sucks, but they are starting to ask for that. And what I think they're going to determine that it's going to vary, right? They're really going to start determining that on what you put as far as the documentation for the business credit cards is how strong your credit score is. Because I know for a fact there's a bank that, I'm not going to say that bank, there are banks that do business lines of credit, no documentation, if you have a strong credit score, right? Up to 100,000, streamlined process. There's several banks out there, very far in between, but there are banks out there that give you business lines of credit, no documentation. If you have a really strong profile, it's a streamlined application strictly off your credit score. I'm not going to say what those banks are, but if you're looking to get one-on-one help, I do offer funding services for people who are interested in getting funding and getting access to business relationship managers. That's how you can get these large lines of credit, and you can get streamlined applications and highest approvals on the business credit cards and business lines of credit. The link is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. That way you get notified whenever I post a new video. Also, smash that like button. Smash that like button. If you made it long enough, all the way to the end of the video, smash the like button. Link in the description if you want to work one-on-one. That's my time. My name is Toby Rosario. Peace.